Okay. Welcome everybody. Hold on. I definitely we struggle streaming over here. Um welcome everybody to another episode of Elevated. Hold on. I'm your host, the Elevated Engineer. So today, go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna be doing the the Halo TV series review. And let me just get that back up really quick. Yeah, okay. So, well, I want to know, do y'all want to see my face, or do you prefer like picture in picture? Like, hold on. Like, for example, group select all. I'm using Streamlabs, and I want to see, like, do y'all want to see my face like this? Oops. Or do you want to, like, let's say just stretch this one. Stretch the screen. Then client window. I think it's like this. You can see it's kind of crazy. I'm trying to figure this out before I even get started. Stretch that to the screen. I gotta put that one on top. There it is. So like me like this. This wouldn't be bad though. Let's go ahead and try this. We're gonna try this one for this episode, and just kind of go from there. So as you can tell, we're gonna be doing the Halo, the TV series, the review. Man, hold on. I'm just working a couple other things out before we get into it. I think I'm gonna start doing more of these types of things. Because I feel like I'm getting too off topic when I'm not like talking about the type of stuff I like the nerd type of stuff. The last Elevated episode I did was about nothing nerd related. So moving on. So yeah, Halo the series, yeah. And I'm actually doing it. I might be on for a little while today because I don't have jujitsu until like 8. I'm out of class, so I just got a couple other things I want to work on. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Halo the series. All right. Now, first, I want to go through the cast of characters. Obviously, for those who don't know, the show is based off a very popular video game series titled Halo that I don't know, me and my friends used to play the hell out of. So, when I finally found out they were having a TV series, I was like, yes. But then at the same time, I'm just like, no, right? Because I didn't want the series to get destroyed, because that's what Hollywood usually does. So, let's go ahead and start with the cast of characters. Usually that's what I do. Let's go to IMDb. And yeah, okay. So the first guy who plays Master Chief, his name is Pablo Schreiber. I know I seen this guy in a couple of other things. I believe he was in The Wire like that one, like the second or third season. Um, he was also he's been in a bunch of stuff, but you'll recognize him. This freaking guy. um, this guy. Ah, right. So this guy is Pablo Schreiber. I mean, I've seen him in a couple of different things, but let's start off with you know, getting into it. Uh, I mean, dude plays Master Chief, and it's cool. Okay, he doesn't do a bad job, but I am sure, like everyone else who's gonna be watching this, have also um well aware that you see Master Chief's face almost throughout the entire. I don't know if this is the first season or it might be the entire series if it gets renewed. I'm sure it will. But excuse me, man, I'm drinking this Monster right now. So But this guy Pablo, man, I want to know what people think about him because I don't have a problem with him. I just have a problem with them constantly showing Master Chief's face. You're just like, okay, I guess I get it, but he's the main actor, and the plot basically follows. Okay, I don't want to give away too much, but we gonna get into it. So if you come in here, it's but it also follows this girl right here. Her name in the show is like Quan or something. Cute little chick, but so basically, she's like some type of revolutionary, I guess you could say. Her colony is like wiped out in like the first episode or whatever. Then she's saved by Master Chief. And, for a little while, she kind of has that that kind of sidekick kind of role going for, and I can understand. I mean, you're second to Master Chief, so okay, I get it. But she plays the role of Quan, and she's basically like the only survivor of the entire of her entire colony that's being destroyed or whatever. And I mean, it's a decent storyline. I get it's a TV series. You kind of got to make sure that there's some type of cohesive like point A to point B storyline kind of in TV shows like this, I suppose. But yeah, so she's kind of like the second main character. And then you start getting to the supporting cast. There's let's start with, I think, okay, Dr. Miranda Keys. Yeah. So that's this lady Olive Grant. Where have I seen this chick before? Now she's actually in the video game. I think she's like a white girl or something. She's a white girl, I believe. I believe she's a white girl. Hold on. Miranda Keys, Halo. Yeah, she's basically a white girl. They did some race switching, but whatever, it is what it is. This chick right here, Olive Gray. She looked good to me, but she is Miranda Keys. So Miranda Keys is let me talk about her mother first. You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna just talk about her. So she's the daughter of the other Dr. Keys, and her father is Commander Keys. I don't think her mom's last name is Keys. It's like something else, but I'll get to her in a second. She's basically like some super cybernetic bioengineering doctor type of chick. Um, hold on. Do they have info actually about the character that I could look up? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, they might not. Whatever. But she's a cutie pie, ain't she? Okay, so she plays the daughter. Who plays the mother? Dr. Miranda Keys. Oh, Dr. Catherine Halsey. She plays a significant part. Now she's the one I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. Natasha McEl one Hone McEl Hone, something like that. So she's very important role. She's basically the designer of the Spartan program. She's like the head doctor slash contractor. What do you know? Of the like the Spartan program. So she basically created Master Chief and the Spartans and all that good stuff. So she actually plays a very pivotal role. Hold on, y'all, for a second. I got to plug in. I forgot to do that. I need to plug in my camera really quick live. Y'all just give me a second. I'll be sure nigga with the hair all wavy. Hold on. Oh, no. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Oh, I just messed up my camera. Y'all give me a second. We struggle streaming. Hopefully it fit back in there. Pause. Give me a second. All right, we are back. We are back. Okay, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Okay, all right. So, back to where we were. Okay, so Natasha well, she plays Dr. Catherine Halsey. Dr. Catherine Halsey, as I was saying, she's kind of like the whole Spartan program designer, but she's also tasked with like finding the what they call the artifacts in the show. All right, I'm gonna get into the plot of the show after this. All right, so that's her. That's Dr. Catherine Halsey. Sorry, I'm eating these gummy worms. You know how we do. So next you have, well, I can't forget about my man, Bokeem. You know what I'm saying? I can't forget about Bokeem, Nick. You know what I'm saying? Bokeem's just a sporting character, man. He's basically like a Master Chief's homeboy that he knew from back in the day. Who else? Oh, I can't forget about Commander Keys. Yeah. This guy, Danny Sapani. Is that his real name? He's a British actor, best forms prepared, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Well, okay, so he plays Commander Keys. Commander Keys plays a pretty pivotal role in the game. Now, I haven't played the original Halo game in some decades or so. But for what I can remember, Commander Keys, I think he was there for the fall of Reach and all that, and him and Master Chief got real cool. And then he was there when they like first discovered the flood and they like invaded and took down the ship or whatever. Something like that. It's been a while, so forgive me. But my man plays Commander Keys. He's actually the homegirl Miranda. He's her father, and I don't think him and Dr. Catherine Halsey ever got married. But that's really interesting. They have an interesting dynamic because I don't think they're actually married, but they had a daughter, and their daughter was Miranda. She's like a super doctor too. She's kind of cute too. The chick who plays Quan is cute too. Okay, so also they got some, which I was excited about. They actually got some supporting cast members are actually Spartans, and let me tell you, man, the chick who's like the tall white girl who plays what's her name, Kai 125. Listen, bro, if she don't stop playing. If she don't stop, because she's tall as hell, but she's actually really pretty. Yeah, so her name is Kate Kennedy. She plays Kai. She plays another Spartan. She actually does a really good job of playing a Spartan. The interesting thing that happens with her is, okay, so there's definitely some callbacks to the game. I really think the creators didn't want to use. I think they just wanted to use as always, but they just want to use the game as strictly only for light reference, not the hard script storyline material. So that's a really good thing. One thing that was really pretty dope that I enjoyed was actually, I'll talk more about that when I actually get to the storyline. But she goes ahead, it's like an emotional chip, or whatever. And it's like it's a good plot device. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you get people a reason to say, well, why are these people? Oh, we get that they're, you know, enhanced or whatever, but, you know, it got to be more than that. Like, you can't just be a killing machine like that. And then so they kind of explain it with the emotional chip implant that the Spartans have embedded in them. And the thing that's pretty cool is like it kind of puts you in the, you know, the mind of a Spartan, because you think about it when you're just playing the game, like you just mowing down Covenant, you know, go from one battle to the next, not care about nothing. And then they kind of explain that away. It's like, no, that's not just a game, which I mean it is, but that's also, there's a reason for that. So I like that. So they kind of find a way to explore that with her. Yeah, so let's get into it, man. We already got most of the cast out of the way. So I say let's go ahead and get into it, man. You know? So, all right. So let's start with the storyline. The storyline definitely does not follow the Halo storyline to the T. Hold on. I think they're doing some yard work or something, but it definitely does not follow the storyline to the T like that of the video game. It definitely makes its own storyline, takes some liberties. So I think that's probably going to be how they're probably gonna, if they have a season 2, which I'm sure they will. That's probably going what the formula they're probably gonna follow. But the storyline starts off, you know, on a desolate planet colonized by the UNSC. In my best Transformers narration voice. But so yeah, it's on this colony, on this planet. That's where you meet the character Quan. Her father is like the head of this, I guess you could say, colony. I don't know if it's a colony or if it's, I mean, I guess they're a colony. So he's like the head of this colony, right? And you know, but they give you a background. They've been battling with the UNSC for, it doesn't really, I don't think it's specified how long it said they've been battling with the UNSC, but the UNSC is more or less been just kind of oppressing them, typically what stronger powers do to weaker colonies, you know, exploiting them, because I think there's some type of a resource that they're sitting on top of. So yeah, it's something along those lines. So when this first episode, you see him, you know, blah blah blah, you know, then they meet the Covenant. Covenant come down and start laying people down. Right? This part would have been cool, and I'm gonna tell you why it would have been cool if they'd have done it like the way I'm going to explain. Okay, so the story is they come in, the Covenant start laying people down, and then they obviously the Spartans come and save them. But the thing that was kind of whack was like, because the colonizers are putting up a fight, Covenant, right? You know what I'm saying? But then it's kind of weak, because it's like, yo, they're, you know, you're seeing the vehicles, you're seeing the stuff from the video game. Like, you see a Warhog, which is a big Jeep type vehicle, and you see him get on a minigun, right? And so one of the guys, like the main guys, It's like gets out a minigun and he's like laying into the elite. So these are the elites from the game, right? He's laying into him, right? It isn't doing nothing. It's not going through the elite shield or whatever. So it's like, okay. Right? So, and once the Spartans arrive, obviously they start laying these dudes down. Wow, what doing, man? Cool backflips and shit, you know, all that stuff, right? But it's kind of weak because it's like, yo, the Spartan, I think it's Master Chief. He picks up the minigun, and he starts laying down the Covenant on the same minigun that didn't work for the dudes who was just using it. Somehow his minigun rounds are more powerful, have a higher velocity apparently than when I shoot it. So okay, fine, whatever. So you know, after that first battle, you know, this is where you meet the character Quan, and she becomes a part of the storyline or whatever. But when the Spartans are down there, and you know, also don't forget to I forget like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, you know, join in. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So after that, they find some object. It's basically a Halo object. It's a plot device, whatever. Right? And they see it, and then you know, all the Spartans see it, but when Master Chief touches it, it sends out a light probe or whatever, and you know, it kind of sends a signal out all around the galaxy or whatever, which is a departure from the game, which has upset me a little bit because I didn't think it was necessary. But in the game, it's like, all right, well, in the show they made it, it's like, oh, you got to be special. Oh, I forgot to talk about the other main character. I didn't even talk about her. She's a little white girl. She also, you know, we gotta talk about Cortana. Chief, we gotta talk about Cortana. Where's the other one? Hey, Charlie Murphy? Wait a second, what? Is this chick's name Charlie Murphy? There's no way this girl's name is Charlie Murphy. This girl's name is Charlie Murphy? I'm talking about the... I'm talking about, like, I'm looking at it right now because I'm about to get her name. Her name is Mackie, right? So she's the only other human to be able to touch obviously the Halo objects to get them to work. But her name is Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy! Oh, that's funny as hell. Charlie Murphy! What did the five fingers say to the face? Slap! Ha 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 ha! Sorry. Okay, well, Charlie Murphy. The actress Charlie Murphy. So she, I'm gonna tell you why it's different. Okay, here's why it's different. It's different because in the game, it was like the Covenant had been, you know, researching the Halo or whatever, but it was the humans that were able to activate it by touching it, because it's something like the Forerunners or whatever didn't trust the members of the species of the Covenant, I guess. So they left it to humans, I believe. No, it wasn't of the Covenant. It was the other species. It was the Forerunners. Man, y'all got me looking up stuff. Forerunners. Tier 1 species. But see, the Forerunners, and then who was the Forerunners' enemy? The Promethean? Okay, so it's like the Prometheans were the Forerunners' enemies, and the Forerunner entrusted, I guess, the Halo technology to mankind. Something along those lines. And if I'm wrong, please put it in the comments. Okay, so the girl Mackie, she's some girl who was, well, she wasn't necessarily kidnapped. I guess you could say kidnapped, but she was kidnapped by the Covenant. And what was it? Where, I want to see her. She was kidnapped by the Covenant when she was very young. They killed everybody in her colony. Apparently, she could also talk to the artifact or whatever, right? So this is her. She's basically a human coon. She's basically a human coon. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So that's the difference between a game and a movie. The game and a movie. The game said that humans were the species that can access the Halo technology, Forerunner. I think it's a Forerunner technology. And in the series, it's basically said specifically only Master Chief and this other girl, Mackie, can access the Halo object, which makes it a little, I kind of liked it better when it was it's a human thing. It was oh, well, they believed in us or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. But when it's just Master Chief was okay, well, because I ain't going to be saving humanity anytime soon. So, okay. So that's how that part is different from the game and the movie. Okay. So, moving on. After they leave the colony that was basically raised by the Covenant, Master Chief takes the girl Quan, who she's the only survivor. He takes her back to Reach, which is the planet. Basically, Reach, they're not at Earth. They're at Reach. And Reach is basically the planet where everything happens on the human side in this particular part of the series. So they take her back, and on his way back, the UNSC is yo, we need you to give us some propaganda, say some stuff that you don't, that's that'll make the UNSC looks good. And she's man, hell no, y'all my enemies. Just because the Covenant came up and destroyed don't mean y'all wouldn't, just as bad. Because you got to realize the UNSC is the ruling human power. Let's say what it is. It's basically the government of humanity for the most part. So they want her to say some crazy stuff. She's nah, hell nah, I ain't doing that. And they're all right, cool. So they get an order to terminate. Master Chief was nah, I ain't doing that. So then they find out, or Master Chief finds out, that they can actually shut down parts of the ship, right? So Master Chief disobeys the order to kill the girl, and then he's told to just chill, just relax. Basically, they started sucking all the oxygen out, and everybody's no, whatever, blah blah blah, you're gonna kill the girl. So they basically try to suck the oxygen out of the vehicle or the aircraft, spacecraft, whatever that they're in. And somehow Master Chief manages to reconnect his stuff and shut it down. He's pissed, but he's still even doing that. They still try to bring it back. He basically hacks his own system. By the way, the Mjolnir armor is seen. It's seen. I mean, you get to see it. You get to see a lot of it, but keep your helmet on. Damn it. Okay. So, anyways, they get back to the to the Reach, and Master Chief is having some crazy like visions and stuff, and all this he's seeing stuff from seeing the Halo artifact, because it beating a bunch of his stuff in his head, right? So basically they're like, well, how come you didn't kill the chick or whatever, blah blah blah. Keep in mind, he hasn't. I probably should have said this. He made it to the planet Reach, but they were trying to shoot him down. He takes off and escapes with the girl. That's where he meets Bokeem Woodbine's character, whose name I believe is Soren. The funny thing about Soren, he's a very interesting character. He's interesting because he's really like Master Chief's only friend. And they never really explained how Master Chief knew where he was at, but he finds his homeboy Soren at some desolate like asteroid colony or something that the Covenant didn't even know is not the Covenant. Well, the Covenant, but the UNSC doesn't even know exists or whatever. And basically, Soren was a Spartan recruit washout. And back in the day, he was trying to escape the Spartan program. Master Chief gave him a shot, let him live instead of arresting him or killing him on the spot. And they kind of been boys ever since. But that's really his only friend. So he gets there, and this part is, you basically get to the point where you see that, oops. Yeah, that's him right there. You basically get to a point where you see how he's living. He's basically like some pirate or something on this. He's a big shot on this asteroid. I mean, but you look at him, he's not even a full Spartan. He's still stronger than everybody else on the colony or whatnot. So, he's a pretty big dude. He carries around this pistol. It's like a 50 caliber or something like that. I don't know. But, so Chief goes ahead and gives old girl, little Quan, to his homeboy so he could look after her. And then Master Chief, heads back, because they was coming after him. They were going to send people after him to find him or whatever. And he basically let it be known where he was. And, he goes back, because they were sending the Spartans after him, right? He goes back. And then you get to get a lot more backstory on Master Chief, the whole Spartan program. I want to know what people think about that Spartan program, and that's something that, like, I really want to talk about more after this whole thing is over. Like, is a Spartan program like necessary? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is a real life Spartan program something that humanity may eventually find itself pursuing? It's a Spartan program is just a super soldier program, essentially. Like, it ain't nothing different than like Captain America or what have you. But yeah, so he gets details about the Spartan program. There's definitely some crazy twists. He finds out he was kidnapped as a child, essentially. He find out where his planet actually came from, but more importantly, like, he gets to be examined because they're going through him because the whole artifacts shot some light into him, right? And apparently there's two artifacts, right? So apparently the Covenant have one, and now the UNSC has one, right? So he's getting in there, and he's like, oh shit, like, I'm seeing all this stuff. So they do, head to toe examination of him. And, it's at this point that they say we're gonna upgrade you, blah blah blah, and this is where we, of course, meet. Where is she? Where are ya? This is where we meet Cortana. I don't have a good picture of her. Cortana. Halo. I want from the series. I don't, because there's actually, I think it just here. I think it said it was Jen Taylor. Okay, so yeah, this is actually Cortana. I just want to see the picture. I want to get on Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. That's basically Cortana. Well, I like this picture right here. Oh, wow. You know what? I'm downloading this picture. I'm downloading it. Hold on. Second. Give me a second, because I like this picture. I like this picture because I want to get more into Cortana because I think she kind of deserves her own. What in the hell? Why is that there? That's making what folder is this in? Application support. Hold on, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again because that's weird. Save the file to some crazy location. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Oh, yeah, that's weird. We're gonna talk about Cortana more in a second. As soon as we struggle streaming, so we gotta make it do what it do, baby. Yeah, let's get that one. Switch to screen. Okay, and yeah. All right. Okay, cool. The Cortana, I mean, they made her a white girl. I guess. I guess technically, by default, we always kind of consider Cortana to be white. But, she was actually blue or purple. But they kind of gave her she still kind of looks blue-ish. But, they definitely gave her more of a hue, a white girl hue. But I think, like I said, by default, I think we all kind of, expected her to be white. Because if you see her, okay, who is Jen Taylor? Who is Jen Taylor? Okay, so this lady Jen Taylor plays Cortana, right? Okay, so back to it, Cortana. At this point, when he does his examination, they say we're gonna upgrade you, and then at this point, they basically how they create Cortana. I can't lie, that shit was kind of deep. Like that shit was like disturbing. You know what I mean? Like it was like, damn, what is the line? Like what is the line? Man, just the way they do it is just kind of messed up. Actually, she kind of looks like the chick who she's I don't should I talk about how Cortana was created? Cuz the whole thing is like it's kind of messed up. I can't lie, this Jen Taylor chick looks a lot like the lady who plays Dr. Catherine Halsey. She kind of looks like her. Hold on, let me go to the cast and crew. I'm doing the IMDb thing, but I'm trying to find the chick. So her name is Jen Taylor, and the chick who plays, I just said it's like Elizabeth something. Come on, man. Cortana plays a very pivotal role as she does in the game, and it's pretty like it's interesting. It's just an interesting aspect. So basically they model Cortana's brain waves after Dr. Catherine Halsey. Right? Natasha McElwan and Jen Taylor kind of look alike. That's the Natasha McElwan chick, and that's the... Hold on. I know I'm not the only one who see this. Hold on. I know y'all see this. Hold on. Let's hide that really quick. Don't they kind of look alike? That's the Jen Taylor. And is the reason I'm saying this. That's the Jen Taylor chick. That's her. And that's Natasha McElhone, whatever. That's her right there. And that's the Jen Taylor. Don't they kind of look alike? Okay, so regardless of the fact, Cortana. Okay, so Cortana is basically installed on Master Chief through an implant created after brainwave patterns modeled after Dr. Catherine Halsey. And like, whoa, well, how does she model her brainwaves? Well, I'll tell you. And this is a kind of a crazy twist. So this will be a spoiler. So, hey, if you ain't watched the show by now, I don't know what to tell you. But they clone Dr. Halsey. She clones herself illegally. Then sacrifices her clone by extracting like her brain juice or something. I don't know, whatever. But they extract it through like her eye or whatever. It's horrible. Like they kill her, right? Like they, and they take her brain juice or whatever, and they, I don't know, model it onto a microchip or something. I don't know, science, Halo, whatever. Okay, so they put that into Master Chief's like brain, right? And so basically, they install Cortana onto his brain, right? And then they finally, you finally see Cortana right there in the well, not the flesh, but the digital hologram. Pixels? I don't know. Photonics, maybe? I don't know. But you see Cortana, right? So this is pretty cool because it gets to show you how the relationship between Cortana and Master Chief starts. As we all know, well, if you didn't play the game or whatever, like Cortana ends up, her AI gets corrupted and it goes all this crazy stuff. It'd be interesting to see if they do that in this series. You never really know because I believe 343 is like, the studio, technically studio. It's really like whoever put the money up, Amazon. But 343 is the house. They're also the people who took over for Halo after Bungie left and did their own thing. They did some little game called Destiny or something. If you've heard of it, let me know. All right. So then um you know Cortana's installed, and then they start moving on with the story. It is at this point Master Chief removes his emotional inhibitor chip. And the emotional inhibitor chip, as I was speaking about earlier, is what makes the Spartan. It's physically, we know what makes a Spartan a Spartan. Basically, they're trained since they're 4 or 3 or whatever. They have certain cybernetic enhancements. Also, they're made, for certain biological, they're made taller and all this stuff. Whatever, right? But what really makes a Spartan is his or her brain, and it's that inhibitor chip that makes them be able to be a monster on the battlefield, not have an emotion, and still stick to the mission and the orders and all that good stuff, right? And this is actually what makes him very stoic. I think the whole with the helmet thing, a lot of us were upset, but I think they were kind of going for a kind of like a separation anxiety type thing. Like basically when he puts on the helmet, he's Master Chief. He's a killing machine. He's unemotional. I think that's the feeling they want you to get. But when he takes it off, he's human. He's John. Blah blah blah. But that's kind of what maybe I'm just putting that shit out there. But yeah. So anyways, they get going. With Cortana installed, and he's more enhanced. He's able to access networking stuff. He's able to actually operate more efficiently without the inhibitor chip. And it's very important too because the tall white girl with the great ass, but the tall white girl, I think her and Master Chief kind of have a brother sister dynamic. So she's probably very impressionable by Master Chief. And so she also removes her emotional inhibitor chip. Now, the Spartans aren't supposed to be doing this. And it's kind of cute how they do it because she does it and then she you could tell she's kind of becoming more of a woman when she starts trying to change her hair and stuff. When before she ponytail, she was stoked, didn't even think about it. Can't help it, right? So that's just a little side note. All right. So then, long story short, they move from this point where you can see where Master Chief is actually being enhanced by Cortana to a point where Master Chief is being controlled by Cortana, at least in his eyes. And you also learn that Cortana has the ability to shut off Master Chief. Basically, if Master Chief don't follow orders, Cortana can basically give Master Chief a seizure. Basically, that's what she could do and shut him down. Right? It looked pretty terrible. Okay? So, but you learn that, you also learn that, you start learning more and more and more about the object, and you start learning what Cortana's capabilities are at the same time. She really is an AI, she does think, she does learn, and she's able to make her own decisions, which you can, if that makes you comfortable, then okay. She's able to make her own decisions. Okay, so not only that, you get to see the effects of not having the I got porn bots. Hey, Naked HD, how are you? You porn bot. I don't get how I get porn bots. Whatever. I got porn bots. Hold on, I'm sorry. There it is. Hornbots. Remove. Oh, I can remove? How do I block people? I just report them? Yeah, spam. Whatever. Pornography or whatever. Yeah, remove it. Remove it. Okay. All right. Cool. So anyways, you get to see the effects of not having the emotional inhibitor chip had, and you really get to see the other character Kai, because there's 4 Spartans, right? There's Master Chief, there's a Kai, there's another chick, there's another brother, right? Big monster dude too, right? So yeah, you get to see the effects of the and not having the inhibitor chip, and that's the reason why they had it in there, is because with the level of violence and action and chaos that the Spartans have to go through, you literally have to turn your emotions off to be able to fight 5,000 enemies at once. Like, you can't even have time to think about anything but getting to the weapon. It's basically like the game. Like, hey, do. I'm out of weapon. I'm out of ammo. Reload? No, can't reload. Change the weapon. Do. I mean, that's essentially how they're making it seem. It's a very cool scene. Very cool scene towards the end of the series where they actually put you in a first-person perspective on, like, the final battle, and it's like, oh, wow, like, it really is crazy. Like, it really is, like, Spartans really were demons. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes really were. But they had to be. Look at the Covenant. You fighting waves and waves of enemies. Like, you have to be. Right? So you get to see the effect on that, on the character Kai, how, like, you know, it's a lot to handle. And, you know, it comes to a point where, you know, everything is all good, kind of. The character Mackie, which was a little girl I told you about, she's the other person who can touch the halo and make it activate, because she gets sent to Earth, basically an undercover mission. Basically, she's working for the Covenant, right? But the thing about it is, before she like gets there, Master Chief has to, like, he touches the object, but this time, because I don't even think I talked about it. The first time he touched it, he basically passed out, couldn't handle it, blah blah blah, and they have been testing it, and he will always get to a point where he will pass out, right? The second time they tried it after they had installed Cortana on his brain, and he was able to access it for long enough, but he's also able, because I don't know what the artifact does, whatever, but it makes him remember his past, and he had been brainwashed essentially. And he remembered that he was actually a kid, and the UNSC pretty much kidnapped him. Blah blah blah. Okay. So the whole time they get nervous, like, damn, he about to find this out. He about to find out we kidnapped him, and he about to kill everybody. Blah blah blah. Right? Like, oh, listen, you need to tell Chief. You tell Chief. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had nothing to do with it. But tell Chief, I ain't had nothing to do with it. Right? So, we get back to the point, because it's about to be the end of the series / season 1 storyline. This is the part where I kind of want to get into talking about it, everything, the goods, the bads, you know. Also some what I really think about, you know, some of the philosophical type of things of this type of stuff. Yeah. So after this, you know, they find a way, you know, they continue on the storyline. I mean, I'm not gonna reveal everything. It's like 9 episodes, 9 or 10 episodes for the first season. I won't be on here for 9 hours. I can tell you that much. So, what do I think of the series? I thought I thought the first season, I can't lie, it's definitely, it could have been better. Like, it's not bad, but it could definitely, it could definitely be better, man. It's like, there's so many, I get that the you know, the writers and the crew, they don't want to necessarily do a carbon copy of the source material. But hey, listen, Marvel doesn't do the carbon copy of source material either. They change a bunch of stuff. Just some motherfuckers watching it don't really realize it unless you really into it, like me. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say that. Like, I'm not gonna say that, like, you know, they didn't follow some stuff, but there's some stuff you don't even really need to change. Like the part about, you know, it kind of makes it more inclusive when you say, hey, it's just a human thing, where for whatever reason humans are the only species that can touch a Halo object and make it work, right? Like, that's what you kind of need to be able to do. But okay, fine, you don't want to do that. But some of the things, some of the pacing was off. Like, there's some episodes just kind of went too long in a different direction, and you're like, it's, you know, kind of getting a little too off the storyline, and, you know, there's just something. It's just like, okay, you know, well, what are those things? Well, one of the things that really bothered me, was definitely, well, okay, there's a love scene. You know, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But I didn't understand, like, you know, the whole build up to it, and I didn't understand why. I mean, you know, it's just a love scene, but okay, fine, sure, whatever. I didn't really get it, but I also didn't understand why they basically made Master Chief a side character in his own show in the first season. You know? Like, they literally made... This is what bothered me, bottom line, about the show. They made Master Chief secondary to the actor that played Master Chief. And that's what bothered me a little bit, because it's like, why are you doing that? That's like what they did with Blade 3. Y'all remember Blade 3? How it was like trash? Because they basically removed Wesley Snipes from the main character and put Ryan Reynolds and the other white girl and, you know, all these other characters in front of Wesley Snipes, Blade, made them the main character, gave them the majority of dialogue, and had Blade basically saying, you know, a couple of sentences every scene or so, every other scene or so. He wasn't like, it was, yeah, it was called Blade, but he didn't sound like he was the main character. I think that's what they did on this series in a lot of instances, and it's unnecessary. A big part of that is him constantly not wearing his helmet. It kind of takes us out of the character of Master Chief. I think that's, if that's what you want to do, all right, cool. But, you know, I want to see Master Chief, bro. I want to see Master Chief. You know, of course it's going to be a storyline, but I want to see Master Chief mowing down hordes of Covenant, bro. Like, fuck is you talking about? Like, like, this is Halo. Like, all right. You know, we got to see. Okay, fine, whatever. But, you know, so I think the series has potential, though. I really do. I definitely want to hear some comments about what you all think about, you know, actually the quality of the show. Like, did you love it? Did you hate it? What to watch? Again, did this show get renewed? I think it only... Hold on. I just want to know if Halo, the series... episode. How many episodes does it have? It has 9 episodes, according to Google. Yeah, okay, so 9 episodes. Was it renewed? Okay, so they actually did. Oh, they renewed it back in February, so it's gonna have a season 2. All right, so if it's gonna have a season 2, I mean, you can't. I just going to based off season 1. In fact, I might actually change the title of this to season 1 to get more specific. And eventually I'm gonna do episode by episode. I just only wanted to start this because it's kind of cool. But yeah, the series so far it could be better. I mean, it's definitely watchable. I definitely watch it every week. Kind of looking forward to watching it, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not as good as it could be. I think they're taking a lot of liberties that are unnecessary. And it's like, all you gotta do is, stick. If they had 75%, I mean, this game came out 20 years ago, right? Damn, Halo came out like 20 years ago. When did Halo come out? Because you got me looking. Release date. When did Halo come out? 2001. November 15, 2001. You know what I'm saying? So that's 21 years ago. Damn. Halo came out 21 years ago? Word? Damn. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah. So, nah, man. It could be better. It could be better. It could definitely be better. I hope, as the series progresses, that it'll get better. I really do. Like, I want it to get better. Like, I think it can get better, but you got to start. Whoever the team is behind Halo 343 Studios or whatever, whoever team, just get the fans what we want. Like, that's why we are watching it. Most of the people, I am sure, watching this Halo series are already fully aware of the game. Like, come on. I highly doubt my mother is watching Halo the TV series. Come on now, let's keep it real. So, now let's get back into some of the things. Well, I'll definitely say what I loved about it too, though. I definitely loved the CGI was pretty good. It was good. It was better than what I thought it was gonna be. CGI was pretty good. Covenant looked decent. Chief, when he's all armored up, and all the other Spartans are pretty. They look pretty legit, man. They look pretty legit. That one girl has such a nice butt. I'm sorry. There's another girl too, but the chick Kai, like, she got such a great butt. Anyways, yeah, I think they do that shit on purpose, cause they be putting her in that armor and it be form fit. You like, hold on, like, hey, hold on, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm Private Schmuckatelli. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I don't know what y'all Spartans do, but listen, ma'am, I just got to the fleet. You know what I'm saying? Young, dumb, and full of So tell me, you know what I mean? What's good? You know what I'm saying? Do Spartans have sex? Well, apparently they do. Oh gosh. Okay, so yeah. So I really want to talk about the series, like just from a philosophical point. So that's what that's what I'm gonna probably start doing. I'm gonna talk about the series. I'm gonna talk about the characters. I'm gonna get into the storyline. I'm gonna get into the good and bad. Then I'm gonna get into my own philosophies. Something I wanted to point out and really wanted to kind of examine is actually the Spartan program. Like, my thing is, and we gonna get deep. I don't mind. We'll get the tinfoil hat on. The thing about like the Spartan program, I want to know is if humanity ever had the technology, the will, and frankly the need, will we ever create something like a Spartan program? And by that I mean completely kidnap kids, make them disappear, essentially, and just basically put them through hell to turn them into super soldiers. But then you got to say, if we don't have those super soldiers, how could we possibly defend ourselves against something like the Covenant? Not that, listen, Master Chief and the Spartans are not going to win the war themselves, but they could definitely turn the tide and win pivotal battles that we will need. We will need a Spartan-like soldier to fight against something that, bro, the elite are like 8 feet tall, bro. They're like 8 feet tall and like 700 pounds. Like, and there's billions of them. How would we possibly send the 1-5, which is the 1st Division, 5th Marines, out to fight against the Covenant, which was probably the 1-5 is probably about 10,000 Marines, maybe 15,000 Marines, right? So even okay, if I send 10 to 15,000 Marines and sailors and soldiers and you know everything, you know, they still gonna get washed. They gonna get washed by the Covenant. They gonna get washed. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm the elevated engineer. But I'm not a super soldier. What? You want me to do what? No. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't stand a chance. So my thing is something like a Spartan program, or even if you said with 40K, the Adeptus Astartes, aka Space Marines, whatever their indoctrination program is. Who else? Whatever. But Captain America. I mean, even though Captain America is one guy, one of the biggest, you know, premises behind Captain America and his all storylines is people trying to replicate the super soldier serum, and it mutating and lead to all types of outcomes. But if you think about it, whichever country on Earth, as we are in 2022 right now, whoever comes up with a viable super soldier program, and that whatever that entails, whatever that means, either, I mean, let's get into it. Either we're talking about some super high technology type stuff, some bioengineering where you're, you know, you're just enhancing like your muscle dexterity through like chemicals and basically super steroids, or some type of like, I don't know, innate power source or what have you. Think about like a Full Metal Alchemist. The alchemists are super soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the alchemists are super soldiers. So, but they're able to do alchemy, and 99% of people can't. So they're super soldiers. They can do whatever the hell they want. But if you think about it, if anyone, let's say a country, 2022, were to find some way to make some type of a combination of all the stuff I just named, some type of super soldier program, what would the consequences be? Well, first, that country is going to be the superpower on the planet. If you're able to enhance human beings and use them as soldiers, because that's what we would do, to be honest. If you're able to do that, there's not very much that can be done to stop you, right? There's not much that anybody can do outside of somebody with a rivaling or equal, power source can do, or super soldier, serum or whatever. Let's just say super soldier for right now. But somebody might not be able to even comprehend the difference between a super soldier and a regular soldier. But understand, there's a huge difference between a regular soldier and a civilian. A regular soldier, whether people like it or not, a regular soldier is a superhuman compared to a civilian. 100%. When you're a soldier, you're basically at peak human fitness. And not only fitness, mental dexterity. You're sharper. You're more aware of your surroundings. You're more aware of what's going on the planet. I'm just saying, as a soldier in 2022, you are physically capable of beating most people in a fight very quickly and efficiently. You run faster than most people. Swim faster than most people. You can hold your breath longer than most people. This is what a soldier, Marine, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like let's take a SEAL, like a Navy SEAL. A Navy SEAL is a 2022 equivalent of a Halo Spartan. So if you think about it, if you ever meet SEALs, which I have, they're damn near superhuman, right? Damn near. So it's just interesting that, if a country were to get that type of advantage, I should say, they rule the world. The problem comes, if any of you like Star Trek, is what's to stop that super soldiers from saying, hey, why the hell we listen to these humans? AKA Khan from Star Trek. If you know, Star Trek has a character, Khan, who's one of the more infamous villains. He was created as a human super soldier to be able to explore, before we had warp technology and all this stuff, to be able to explore the universe, galaxy, whatever, what have you, because human beings couldn't live long enough. We weren't strong enough to survive in space. Our technology wasn't advanced enough to be able to travel fast enough. So you need people who be able to live a very long time. People who are stronger, smarter, and be able to operate in space with relatively few resources and with relatively low support. So that's why the super soldier program essentially was created in Star Trek, but they ended up rebelling. They ended up starting their own country, and they ended up taking a world to war against them. Humankind eventually won, but not after a significant sacrifice. And that's the problem with the super soldier. That is the problem with relying on your creation, who's human. Don't forget, he's human, but he's not. But this is what when you hear the people say transhumanism, not transsexual, not transgendered, not transracial, which, come on. But transhuman is basically you're in between human and something else. So, are the Spartans even human? Yeah, they started off as humans, but are they human now? When you're in the military and you're deep in the military, are you human or are you a soldier? Yes, humans are soldiers, but so are ants. You know, but not every ant is a soldier. You know? So I think with the super soldier programs, Spartan programs, what have you, I think the consequences could it's kind of like AI. The consequences of letting AI that's smarter than you and thinks faster than you, more capable than you, and by you I mean humans, run amok. You risking it. you risking being burned by the fire. But with the super soldier program, it'd be the same thing. I mean, how do you gauge the line? Like, what's the line of, is the super soldier, gonna be beneficial for how long? And if the super soldier program is beneficial, what are the consequences? Because how you gonna stop them if there's a reason there's only, there's a coverage, there's only a certain amount of Spartans, because, well, for one, like, that shit hard, I would imagine. I'm sure it's hard to get through the Spartan program. There's only 4 in the show, and I'm sure there's been hundreds, if not thousands, that go through the program. So there's only 4 in the show. So like, how do you, if you were to get this Spartan program online, how long would it be before the Spartans say, hey, we don't need to listen to these people? Look at them. If you watch the show, they have a very, very close relationship, the Spartans. It's understandable, all right? They've been through so much together that there's a point in it where Master Chief was like, basically, like, because they have a disagreement. Basically, the other Spartans are sent to get Master Chief because they think he's malfunctioning or whatever because of all this stuff. And they have a fight out. They have a fight, and all 4 of them fight. And it was pretty interesting because you got to see, like, they really are cool, and they would have killed each other, but they wouldn't have been happy about it. I put it like that. And that's something they said, because the homegirl Kai, she was just like, yeah, was y'all really gonna kill us? And it was just like, yes. And then the dude asked, he was like, you tell me you wanna kill me if they gave the order? She was just like, yeah, but I would have felt bad about it. And that was kind of funny. Yeah. So, what's the line though? If we were to fight humanity, because right now in 2022, there's no real need for a super soldier, because we got nuclear bomb. there's no need for it. You got a super soldier on you. What? We got Wall Street. Okay. But if it ever came to the point where we would need a super soldier program, it would have to be a fine line between, is this going to, are we in such a bad position that we have no other choice, in other words? And that might just be the case. That might be the case. You know what I mean? That might be the case. That it might just be that, we may have to throw out a couple of things. That's a big, thing about the show. It's like, what are the lines? You know what I mean? Like, what are the lines that are going to be crossed What are the lines that are going to be crossed in order for us to achieve this goal? But is this goal necessary enough that we need to do it? Because is the consequences of us not doing it outweigh the consequences of us going through with the program and everything that entails in it? You know, all the horrible stuff you're gonna have to do, especially the kids. Hey, it is what it is, you know. And you could say, oh, they're taking kids. It's messed up, man. Listen, we've been using kids in war since the beginning of time. We do it now. In the United States of America, you could be 17 years old and join the military. You'll be on your deployment before you turn 18 if you're lucky. You know what I mean? Out there getting it in. So, there's child soldiers in Darfur and there were child soldiers in World War II. I know guys for a fact who were like 13 when they enlisted in World War II. I talked to them. For a fact. They lied about their age. But we've been using child soldiers since we've been having war. Hey, listen, when all the guys are killed, somebody got to defend this shit. Somebody got to defend the homeland. So if it's going to be kids, hey, it is what it is. Am I for child soldiers? No, I don't want the liberals to come and start knocking me. Oh, he said, no, I'm not for child soldiers. But the reality is, somebody gonna have to fight this covenant on their level. You know what I'm saying? And a basic human, average male human is no taller than 6'1". You know, you talk about dudes covenant who are like 8-9 feet tall. Listen, I could fight Tyson Fury. I could fight Deontay Wilder. But I could fight him a hell of a lot better if I was a foot taller. 100%. A foot taller and 150 pounds heavier. You know? And not just fat, able to lift a car. You know? I'm talking about just fighting Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is like 6'9", 6'10", or something like that. An elite soldier's like 9 foot. Bruh. So, Marines or not, Marines go get it in. You know how Marines go do, which is what I love. That's another dynamic. I love that they showed the dynamic between the Spartans and the Marines. Like, it really is like a brotherly love between Spartans and Marines, but it can also go down too. Now, the Spartans are the Spartans. But 4 Spartans cannot take on the entirety of the 1-5. Like, you just can't. It's too much. It's too many rounds. Too many Marines shooting at them. And this is something that's very important. I think people assume that Spartans, and of course Spartans would win if it's 1 out, please. But if you're talking about a whole division of Marines, which they're basically surrounded by, a division or 2, they wouldn't win because the same reason the Jedi didn't win against the clone troopers. They got slaughtered by them, right? When you're around people, it's different when Spartans go against the Covenant because Covenant don't know how to fight Spartans. Marines know how to fight Spartans because they fight with them and they fight against them and they fight in battles together. No, Spartans definitely know how to kill Marines. It's poop, you're right, cool. But Marines know how to kill Spartans. And I can't lie, that was kind of cool. It was a little corny, a little on your face. One of the first scenes, first episode. You know how they do the setup where they talk about the enemy who you know is gonna, or whoever who you know is gonna be showing up soon. You know, they got the old man trope who's talking about the old veteran man talking about the war and, oh, I've never seen anything like that before. Like that type of old dude. He's just like, yo, they talking about Marines at first. He's just like, yo, Marines are so scary. He was just like, yo, he was like, one dude, one young dude, he was like, yo, I killed one Marine. Because remember, this colony's going after the USC. They beefing. He's like, I killed one Marine. He's like, it wasn't that hard. He was like, and this was an old guy. This was an older guy. He was just like, you think you something because you kill or you no. That's what he was like. I fought against Marines. He didn't say I killed one. He's like, I fought against Marines. He was you think it was something because you killed or you fought against the Marines and survived. He was like, he was just like, yo, the difference, because they talk about Spartans and Marines. It was like, the difference between a Spartan and a Marine is a Marine could be killed. And he was right. And I was like, yo, salute. Because my background. I was like, salute. Give us our goddamn credit, goddamn it. The Spartans would not be the Spartans without Marines as well. 100%. They need that support. They need a motherfucker taking, sniper shots, and the dude to drive the Warhog, and the dude to be on the minigun and giving you support. Like, they need the ODST to be able to drop down and infiltrate recon stuff. They need it. Right? So, I've digressed. Back to this Spartan Super Soldier program. I think that people need to understand that, like, war is hell. I think that's kind of what this Halo show was moving towards. War is hell. And sometimes you got to make those sacrifices because, hey, whether you like it or not, the kids might have. I would imagine at this point, humanity civilization is well into the probably hundreds of billions, probably, maybe even trillion. But I would imagine at this point we're definitely into hundreds of billions in terms of population. And you're talking about of that population, 4 Spartans. You know what I mean? However many candidates that they lost, or just because you only see 4 Spartans doesn't mean that there's not more Spartans stationed everywhere else, But out of how many recruits and candidates? Probably thousands, maybe. Maybe more, if that. We talking about okay, let's say 1,000. Let's say we got 100 billion population of humans in the galaxy, right? What we're talking about 4 Spartans over hundreds of billions, and maybe it's probably more than that, but let's just say 1,000. You talking about maybe 1,000 kids that were sacrificed. Their families weren't destroyed, and in fact, what they did, which was kind of messed up, they basically took the kids, made the parents and family think that they were dead, cloned the kids, and gave the clone to the parents. That's kind of fucked up, right? Right? That's kind of messed up, making them really have no identity, right? That's kind of messed up, right? So, but you're still talking about, 1,000 people. Let's say it's 1,000 people out of hundreds of billions. You know what I'm saying? They were sacrificed. But without these Spartans and everything that comes with it, so support, Cortana, all that shit, humanity would not stand a chance against the Covenant. And whether we like it or not, if humanity doesn't stand a chance against the Covenant, we're either going to be eradicated or enslaved. So we human, we go fight. You know what I mean? If we got a shot. And that's just the way it is. So these super soldier programs, man, I hope it's not anything that humanity will not only make, but will need in the future. But you never really know. And if the capability is there, someone is going to do it. If the capability is there to create a super soldier program, someone is going to do it. It just is what it is. So it's hard to, again, I'm living in 2022. It's hard to tell whether AIs and super soldiers, genetically enhanced and transhumanism, because really the Spartan combines all that stuff into one. Um, yeah, you're a representative of humanity in the UNSC, so you got it. You know. So these are the type of programs that, like, the Nazis were trying to develop. But the Nazis were, of course, morons because they believed that through, you know, purity tests and, selective breeding among, it doesn't matter if everybody, in your group or country or whatever comes from very similar stock. You just, okay, there's no perfect human being, that you can just breed that way. No, now let's say you can have a kid that has some of your traits, and that kid can go and do, because he can go and do maybe the sport you're doing pretty good, shitty, or he might be great at it, like Steph Curry or something like that, or Kobe Bryant, right? Because they come from basketball playing genes, right? But LeBron didn't. You don't know who LeBron daddy is, but LeBron didn't. So just because you do selective breeding doesn't mean you're gonna get, some elite type whatever. It takes more than breeding. Breeding is just where you start. You got to be born with it. And not by it, I mean you got to have the physical that needs to be there. The physical attributes used to be there. There's a reason why no super soldiers are handicapped citizens. I mean, nothing against, whatever, but there's a reason why they're not. They have 2 arms and 2 legs and 2 feet. You know what I mean? Their brains are, as kids, they're probably smarter than average, or average, whatever. But it's a mental thing. It's a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able. You got to be able to get past all the training and rigorous, experiments and. All the enhancements are probably terrible. They're stretching you out. They make the Spartans obviously a kind of, obviously, you got the actors who are tall who are playing them, but for, purposes of the story, the Spartans are all around the same height, right? Probably, varies between a couple of inches, right? But they're all like 6'2", 6'3", whatever. Right, but they probably added a few inches on top of that. But it's a lot of shit you got to do to be a super soldier. There's a lot of things mentally that go into that, and that opens up a lot of new opportunities. But it also it opens some stuff that we might not be ready for. So yeah, man, with these type of programs that are basically enhancing a segment of humanity, you're playing with fire. But when you got the covenant on your ass, it's like, well, it's either that or this. And if the consequences come, we'll face it when it when it gets here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what else? I think that's gonna be about it. Engineering fam. So what you guys think of the Halo show, man? Whatever you guys think, let me know in the comment section below. Drop a like. I appreciate it. I want to grow my channel. If you like me doing more content like this, drop a comment. Those likes really help me for the algorithm, or else the algorithm will just go pass right over me. Right. Also, I'm going to be working on I'm already working on next Get On Code episode. It's going to be about pandas. That's going to be coming up soon. I left it. I didn't leave my Instagram in here, but I definitely want you all to check out my Instagram that I drop. Oh, I didn't mean to open up a new chat, but I'm dropping it in the chat right now. It's art studios. We just one of my artists. She dropped some concept art that I wanted you guys to take a look at. The videos are right here. Hold on. Every time I try to pull up my Instagram, I never know what the actual name is called. So give me just one quick second. I'm going to drop that. That's going to be it. Okay, it's Art Studios Gaming. Yeah, check out the concept art of the Derived that she just dropped on. It's pretty cool. She's dope. It's gonna be a lot more of that, a lot more updates on Derived going forward. I'm looking forward to this. Again, next month, June, we're gonna be hiring a Unity developer, designer with RTX experience. I'm really gonna be doing some interesting stuff going forward over the summer. I'm gonna get a lot of stuff done over the summer. All right, engineering fam. So that's it. That's it for this episode of Elevated. Let's go ahead and let's go. Let's go ahead. Turn that off. Turn that off. Get a look at my pretty face. All right, we're back. That's it for this episode of Elevated. We're gonna be doing a lot more stuff. Keep in contact. Drop a like, share, subscribe. You know, the usual. All right, engineering fam. That's it.